Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be a Flash movie video all about the villains and the cool stuff that I think they're going to be doing. It'll look very familiar if you've been watching the TV show. So most of you have probably seen the Flash TV show at least a little bit. You've seen the things that they've done in the last 2 seasons. Well, it seems like the movie, even though there's going to be a lot of overlap because it's Barry Allen in the movies, Barry Allen on the TV show, the movies are going to start off with the Rogues and then work up to the Reverse Flash, with like the first big bad being Captain Cold. As you would go, if you're going to start off with the Rogues, you might as well start off with the fan favorite Rogue. Now, there are a lot of classic Rogues, like Heatwave kind of goes hand in hand with Captain Cold. They're doing him on the TV show, so it remains to be seen which other Rogues they put in the movie, but I would expect just at least 3 or 4 Rogues, with just like Captain Cold being the main Rogue. Obviously, they'll address his origin story a little bit, probably some flashbacks, but I don't think they're going to get too bogged down with that. In an even broader context, I'm thinking of it as like a Star Labs movie, because Cyborg won't have his solo movie for a while. I think they're still intending on doing it, but it seems like based on some of the rumors about Justice League, like they're slowly tuning Cyborg down just a little bit, and then they'll weave him in a slightly different way later on. Like he'll be a much bigger thing in the second Justice League movie. They've already got so many things to accomplish in the first Justice League movie. Gotta bring Superman back, gotta introduce the idea of the New Gods, Apocalypse, so I think they're just trying to simplify things and not try to introduce too many characters all at once. So it sounds like he's kind of getting the Joker treatment in Suicide Squad, like they shot a whole bunch of Joker for Suicide Squad, but it totally ended up getting cut out. Jared Leto was actually pretty upset about that. But now it sounds like they're just trying to simplify Justice League a little bit, which I think will be very beneficial. But there's still a lot of Cyborg in there because he and the Flash are both associated with Star Labs. So I'm expecting to see his father, some of the shades of those Easter eggs that we saw in Batman v Superman, like we saw the Mother Box fuse with him, turn him into the Cyborg. So that just means there's a lot of different directions they could take future Flash sequels. You could do the Reverse Flash story where he reveals himself as the architect of Barry's pain. I'm the person that killed your mother. I would expect that even though they're not doing the exact same story that the TV shows are doing, that they'll still be relatively true to the comic book origin story. For whatever they change about the plot of the actual movie, like, whatever the Flash is doing when the movie is going on, they're not gonna like completely reboot his origin story. He'll still be surrounded by all those chemicals in his workshop, gets struck by lightning, boom, Speed Force. Now obviously the TV shows had a lot more time to spell that out, so you know about the Reverse Flash, you know about the other evil speedsters, you know about Wally West, you know about the other people. They'll probably get to all that stuff in the movies too, but remember, you've already got so many Justice League characters that you have to deal with right now. So first things first, just like Avengers had to work up to Black Panther and Captain Marvel and Spider-Man for that matter, the same thing's gonna happen with the Justice League characters like the Flash. The Flash family will grow, it's just gonna take a couple movies to get there. But if any of the DC movies have a chance to be really, really awesome, I think The Flash and Batman are really easy slam dunks. Batman for obvious reasons, but The Flash, when you consider that we're entering the Geoff Johns era of DC films, he wrote The Flash for a long time. A lot of the best Flash Rogue stories were his. Like, he knows the Rogues like nobody else. So with his helpful hand and a solid screenplay, they'll make a totally awesome, totally fun Flash movie. I'll be interested to see how they weave in the other Justice League characters because there's so much crossover. Like, the big thing now is Batman showing up in other people's movies, which I'm totally fine with, but I feel like at a certain point, Superman will have to start doing that too. Maybe during the Shazam movie, just because Billy Batson looks up to him so much. And I know there have been a lot of rumors about the DC Extended Universe, their film schedule, what they're going to be doing later on, even like the plot of Justice League. I'll probably address those next week. But The Flash is just a really easy slam dunk. We all know who he is. We've been watching the TV show. The movie version is obviously going to be a little bit different, but mostly just in the way that it looks. The character dynamics, like the characters themselves, will feel very similar to the characters that you're watching on the TV show. Like everybody has like their slightly different spin. Like Grant Gustin's Barry Allen is just a little bit different from Ezra Miller's Barry Allen, but at their core, they're both trying to do comic book Barry Allen. So they're both flowing from the same energy. And in the context of the films too, I feel like the Flash is going to be like their Spider-Man. The character who is just like so happy to be there and so excited that they're doing fun stuff. I need friends. I'm keeping this. What are you doing in my second favorite chair? Like, one of the funniest things about this too, I didn't notice it right away, but a couple times after I watched this trailer, I noticed that in this screen in the background, he has Rick and Morty on. The Flash of the movies watches Rick and Morty. How awesome is that? So there's a lot of awesome stuff in there. I would expect them to dial the Flash way up in terms of screen time during Justice League as they're tuning things just to make it a little bit more fun. He kind of keeps the pace up. He even makes the Bruce Wayne character more fun. Like, Bruce Wayne does have a sense of humor, but it depends on which character he's interacting with. Like, he's really funny with Aquaman here because Aquaman's like the super hardcore intense guy, so he slips in that joke about talking to fish. Then when he's interacting with Barry Allen, Barry's like the jokey, lighthearted guy, so he loosens up just a little bit. So you see like the range of Batman. Batman is made better by the characters around him. So I am so excited about Aquaman and the Flash in this movie universe. Now, I think the Aquaman movie is going to be a little more intense than some of the others. Like, it'll be underwater, classic James Wan horror. So in the way that the Marvel films are starting to broaden their genres, like Doctor Strange is going to be Marvel's first push into the horror genre, that's going to be the same thing with DC's Aquaman film. So let me know in the comments, if the Flash movie is going to start off with the Rogues as like the big enemies, do you think that they're going to try and do King Shark and Gorilla Grodd? Because the Suicide Squad didn't want to do King Shark because they were doing all practical effects. Like, they didn't want an all CG character, and you kind of have to do that for King Shark. But I feel like the Flash movie could totally go there. The King Shark of the TV show actually looked really, really good. Gorilla Grodd on the TV show looks really good. Now imagine you have like an extra $50 million for special effects. Think about how much more badass they could make those characters. But I don't think they're going to try and do too much stuff up front, just because they could totally do Gorilla City in the Flash movies. I mean, they'll have the money for it. That's not the problem. They just have to create that context. Like, nowhere in the DC universe so far, the DC movie universe, have they referenced a city of talking gorillas. Like, they were blown away when an alien came to Earth. So it sounds like the world's still on the edge of learning about all the crazier stuff that's going on. Like, the Amazons have been around for a long time. We'll learn about that during the Wonder Woman movie. So clearly there are metahumans living on the Earth. So I think it's the job of the next couple of movies to let you know just how comic booky the world is already. Like, Lex's files during Batman v Superman kind of give you a teaser for that. Like, look, there's all these metahumans, there's a giant list, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, just a small sliver of the amount of people that Lex has probably been investigating. So then when we got to Suicide Squad, Amanda Waller's like, look, there are people like this all over the world. All kinds of terrible organizations are trying to amass their own teams of metahumans. So that's why we need our Suicide Squad. That was part of her reasoning. We need to put them on our team before somebody else gets them on their team, the other governments of the Earth. So definitely expect future films to address that, like the next Suicide Squad film, even a Justice League film. Like, if they don't want to go to Darkseid right away, they could totally do like a Justice League versus Injustice Society movie, like an evil team up. There's so many evil teams in the comics, you could take your pick of the litter. The Flash Rogues are just like the best example, but they're obviously going to start out in the Flash movie. Let me know in the comments though, if they did the second Justice League movie as like Justice League versus an evil team up, which team would you want it to be? And do you want Lex Luthor to be on it, or do you still kind of want him working behind the scenes? Because he's still like a public figure, and once he goes like super villain, like I'm gonna kill you Superman, and the world sees it, they kind of turn on him. So it just depends on how quickly the movies want to throw Lex Luthor under the bus. But I think it's gonna be a while before we see Lex Luthor in his comic book armor. But just as a teaser, this isn't Flash related, this is Superman related, but Henry Cavill has been studying jiu-jitsu for a long time, like the last couple years, hardcore. So just think about Jiu-Jitsu Superman versus Steppenwolf in this first Justice League film. Superman comes back and is just a badass, just wails on Steppenwolf. I cannot wait to see black costume, mullet Superman beat the shit out of him. It's going to be so much fun. But just a reminder, there's a DC giveaway going on right now. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. There'll be more Flash TV show stuff happening soon. There's a big convention this weekend, Dragon Con is happening, and there's a bunch of Flash cast there. They've already started talking about Flash Season 3 stuff, so I'll do a video for Dragon Con Flash stuff in the next couple of days. But they actually just revealed the new costumes for Thor, Odin, a bunch of people in Thor Ragnarok like Loki, so I'll be doing a video for that tomorrow. They also may have revealed the release date of Game of Thrones Winds of Winter, the new book, so I'll probably be doing a video for that tomorrow too. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here to learn more about what's going on with The Flash Season 3, and you can click here to learn how Spider-Man and Doctor Strange are going to figure into the Avengers timeline. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody, let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.